Hi, I'm Laura Bartow from Studio One Stampers, and it's time for September Club. It's 2022, and oh my goodness, we have so many fun things to think about. Well, for this particular class, I wanted to really give you a little sense of how to make some really easy watercolor backgrounds. Now, if you look at this background on this card, you'll see that it's actually watercolored on watercolor paper. Now, what's so much fun about this is it's a super simple background, and it also shows off our wonderful special for September. Now, this stamp set, the little piggy birthday stamp set here, is actually in our catalog, and so that'll be available all year. But just during September, this particular die set is available to go with it. Now, you could actually buy them as a bundle together if you don't already have the stamp set at a 10% discount, or you can get just the dies or just the stamp set, however you want to do that. But oh my goodness, don't miss this perfect partners die set for just September. Now there's 6 different die sets that they've offered that are partnering with 6 different stamp sets that are actually all in our catalogs. So take a look on the website and take a look at all 6 of those, because you don't want to miss them for just September. But oh my goodness, September has even more. Each week during September, Stampin' Up! Is putting particular products on sale. Now, they're a surprise each week, so I can't even tell you what they are, but check the website, go to Shop Now, and you can see all the great products that are on sale. So have fun with September, have fun with the sales, and don't miss these perfect partners dies that are just available during September. Well, let's get started and show you how to do these great watercolor backgrounds. Well, I want to show you how to do this amazing watercolor wash landscape. It is super easy, and you can see that it's exactly the same behind the piggy as it is for our technique. So the 3 colors that we're going to be using are Granny Apple Green, Balmy Blue, and Garden Green. And the wonderful thing about this is that these colors will go together anyway, because blue and green are so close on the color wheel that they blend together really well. So this is a super easy landscape to do. We're going to be using watercolor paper. So here's just a piece of watercolor paper, and you can see it's got a little bit of it's got a little more texture. So the side that has a little bit more texture on it is the side that we want to use. And what I've done is I've got my ink pads here, and I'm just taking a dot of ink refill and putting it in the lid. And just really 1 dot is all I need of each color. So I'm pretty well set on my other colors. So my Granny Apple Green, my Balmy Blue, and my Garden Green. So I've got those going there. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my water painters, and you can see there are 3 different points on these, and so I want to use this wide one. I'm going to just color my watercolor paper all with just plain water, and I've got the water all filled up in here. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit so I can see some water coming out there, and I want to just get this wet, and I want it wet enough that I can see that it's wet. I've got it, I don't want it pooling. I just want a nice even coat of water on there. And I'm going to work pretty quickly because I want to do this all while this paper is wet. So I'm going to start with my blue. An important thing about the blue is that's going to determine my horizon line. So I want my horizon line about 1/3 of the way up, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm going to squeeze some more water into my blue and make a very pale blue. And so you can see I'm going to begin to wash that across there. And that's a very pale blue that I'm putting on there. And it's nice because it's going to be a couple of different colors of blue. Now I'm going to go into where my color's a little more intense and just do some swooshing. So I'm just going to add some kind of swishing lines in here to add. Everyone is going to be different, so just add some little touches. And I'm doing that, and you can see that I have my brush in what I would call the horizontal format, and so I've just got those little pieces. And then I can actually dab and add just little dots of a little bit more intense color in some of the areas. And can you see how the color is blending and going and fading in there? And then I can always come back and do a little bit more, but that's really all that I want to do on there. So I'm going to take a paper towel now and clean this off because I want to go now into my Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to do the same thing again, grab a little bit of water in there and make a very light green. And so I'm going to go across here with my light green, and some streaks and lines in here are just fine. Different colors are really ideal. And so now I have my ground. I'm going to go in with my little more intense color and just do that same technique where I went across and just kind of coming down. I'm kind of swishing it around a little bit, and then I'll add some darker little spots. I'm kind of using like the tip of this and just dotting that, and see how they just kind of blend in together. Whatever you think a ground looks like is just what we need to have that look like. Well, that's the whole thing, and everyone is going to look different, different between one to another, different between person to person, and that's all I need to do for that part. Now I want to make sure that it's all still wet, and I'm grabbing the bigger of the two. There's two of these, and I just particularly want the bigger one. And I'm going to go into my garden green. I'm going to squeeze a little water in here, and I'm going to get sort of a medium green color, and I'm going to put in a pine tree. Now a pine tree is a triangle, so I'll start at the top, and I'm just going to wiggle down a little bit wider and a little bit wider till I get to that horizon line. And ta-da, I have a pine tree. And now I'll kind of add a little more color into that, but I can do that in a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my ground. So my ground is going to be a line across here that's basically straight, but with lots of strokes and lots of different colors in there. And then I need to add a different kind of a tree. This is going to kind of a deciduous tree. I'm going to add that in right here. That's going to kind of be there. And then add a little, I'm going to add some dark accents here. I'm trying to go in with my deeper color just to like kind of highlight that. And then I'm going to add some more of the ground, just sort of the whatever's poking up in the ground. I don't know what that is, just some foliage, and just add that in. And you can see my horizon line has bled down here. I love that. I love that look. And I could add a little more detail to my tree if I want some a little bit more darker colors. And usually you just want to stop. The biggest problem with watercolor is doing too much. And that's the whole thing. And you can see how similar this is, but it looks a little bit different. I've got some maybe darker colors here. My sky looks a little different, but that's all I need to do. So that's the whole thing, to do a quick watercolor background with a little bit of a tree line. So enjoy it and have fun, and imagine where your trees are in your tree line. Well, let's go ahead and put our card together. I'm going to set this aside onto our piece. I'll let that dry before I glue that on, but that's what that's going to look like for our watercolor wash technique. And let me pull the card in. So this is really, really cute. This is fun. I've got this wonderful background going on already. And here I've actually done the background, and this is dry. And that's really important because I want to go ahead and stamp something on there. So what I've got on this stamp is I've got this little collection here, and I want to put these cute little pieces right on here, but it's very important that that's dry while we're going. So I'm going to ink up just this little section here, and it's okay if I ink up a little bit more because that's just going to show me where my little piggy is going to go. So I'm going to decide where my little piggy's going, and here I've got this already cut out and ready to go, and so I want my little piggy to kind of go right, I think right about here, because I've got to get those balloons in. So I want this stamp to go right there. So this is going to stamp right here, and remember I only really wanted this little these little pieces coming out from the back. That's great. And I've taken my little piggy and I've got, these are the colors that I used. I'll get those all listed for you. But I've got Real Red and Bermuda Bay, Smoky Slate. This one is Light Pale Papaya, Parakeet Party, and Daffodil Delight. So those are the colors that I used to just put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Get rid of my dimensionals here. And that's, of course, going to just kind of match up right here into this space where I had that there. So that's so cute. And then these balloons. This is a real fun way to do these little balloons. I've got dimensionals on the backs of them. I've colored them into the colors. So I'm just going to kind of put one up there. And I've left little kind of tails on them so I can put just a little bit of glue on there to attach to the little flag. There we go. On there. And put this here. And just tuck this in right there. I guess I need to move this one up just a little bit. That's okay. I want them sort of looking like they're blowing in the wind. So they're doing that. And then I've got a little bit of a tail on this little green one as well. And I don't want too much glue, but just enough to hold it. And I've got a little dimensional on here. And that's going to tuck behind this sign as well. Isn't that just so cute? I love this as they're all flowing backwards. And then I'm going to grab my colors of my blends and just kind of add some little bits of colors. I think these little stars are cute, and add some colors there. I think I'll add a little bit of blue. That'll look okay on the green, I think. Just add some blue. And maybe a little yellow. I don't think the yellow is going to show up too well on the green, but it might look kind of nice just to have a little bit of, just little touches of yellow on there. Actually, I think I want to just use this side so I can really get that. Oh, I guess it shows up okay. Yeah. Oh, it's just fun to play with all this sort of stuff. So there we go. All right, so there my little piggy is ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and mount this then again onto our card. And of course you do want to make certain that it's nice and dry when you're doing that. And I usually like to do a lot of glue on watercolor paper just because it has a tendency to have curl just a little bit from the water technique. So here we'll put that on our starry sky background. And then that will go right onto our balmy blue card base. And there we are. So isn't that just so much fun? I just think this is amazing. And these dies are only available during September 2022. So make sure that you grab them now. I don't know if they'll ever be seen again, but oh my goodness, they're so much fun. And I hope that you enjoy this technique and enjoy making fantastic scenes with piggy cards and everything else. Well, have fun and keep on stamping.